We hear from Mr. Andrew Otieno, the Head Standards Department at Uganda National Bureau of Standards (UNBS), who shares the mandate of UNBS in regulating lead products on the market.
As a bureau, we have developed a number of standards to address that issue by looking at those sources. We have quite a number of standards on paint, both waterborne paint and solvent-based paints. And in those standards, we have put in a requirement of there being not more than 90 parts per million of lead. Does that mean that all the paint in our markets does not have lead above 90%? No. Why? Ugandans don't like following regulation.
Communities have been greatly affected by lead contamination from cookware and metal fabricators.
Obuliro obwo obutuyingira obusika omwana n'obusika n'okosebwa ku kibumba kuyingira mu mubiri kwegamba n'effeesi olumu waliwo oyotya niyo ng'oli bize wantu ezo waya netukozesa welding rods ezituleetera okuyubuka mu maaso. So nakyo leero okuba nti tetulina tutakola kugenda bugenze mu maaso.
These vulnerable groups include women in markets. We hear from Ms. Namukasa Jen, a food vendor at Chitintale Market, who shares her knowledge on lead products like saucepans.
Sepiki kati tuzifollowinga naffe tulaba sepiki naye mabegako emyaka yeena nalaba Canton nga bw'ogisuzaamu amazzi gakola ekya bbulaaka.
Lead poisoning greatly affects lives of humans, especially children and pregnant women, leading to increased mortalities. We hear from Dr. Herbert Nabasa, Commissioner, Environmental Health Department at the Ministry of Health, Uganda, who discusses the impacts of lead exposure on human health.
Now, lead is one of the silent killers that hopefully not very many people are aware about. Hopefully many people will not be aware that even the things we use, like ladies in their cosmetics world, have a lot of lead amounts. You may want to know that exposure to lead, for instance, may result into affecting the sperm production. And so we need more research and science to determine whether some of those low sperm counts remain attributed to exposures to lead as a substance. As a ministry, we don't have yet specific regulations or standards for lead. However, we use sectoral guidance, sectoral laws and regulations which are already in place like NEMA, Environment Act, other some severe lead regulations speak about the need to uphold environmental social safeguards. However, we have initiated a few interventions. We are looking at a project to assess the status of lead, especially looking at children, and also looking at health facilities and exposures. And that will inform the relevant intervention, whether we need standalone regulations on chemicals such as lead, or whether we can benchmark and use existing regulations space.
Civil society play a critical role in addressing lead pollution among communities, especially schools and households. We hear from one of the civil society players, Ms. Noreen Twitch, is a country director at Yardnet Uganda. She expounds more on the initiatives Yardnet is working on in schools to create awareness on lead pollution.
We have been running this campaign in schools. We've been to schools like Chibuli, been to schools like Koro SS, and we have engaged the young people. Our goal in this case is to engage the young people and create awareness about the dangers of lead exposure to their health and to the community. Majorly, our approach has been an interactive approach towards these young people, and through drama, lead skits, and essay competitions that we are carrying out to ensure the goal is to break down the scientific data about lead exposure to these little ones, to these young.
We hear from Mr. Raymond Ryoka, the GAHP board chairperson, who shares the efforts of GAHP in addressing lead pollution in the countries of its operation.
Global Alliance on Water Pollution operates in more than 30 countries in the world. We are in Asia, we are in Latin America, we are in Africa, we are in more than 7 countries. And we are scaling much into Uganda as our next area of focus. But in the other countries we operate as organization, as GAP, our focus is on advocacy to address pollution, especially air pollution. We focus more on addressing air pollution. We also focus on addressing pollution from chemicals, including, you mentioned lead poisoning. And also we work with governments to talk about policy advocacy, reviewing their policies, ensure that their policies are addressing pollution. And in these countries, we engage in developing what they call the health and pollution action plans. In these countries, we have done more than 10 countries have done health and pollution action plans. These countries have developed strategies to address pollution. And these health and pollution action plans, these 5-year plans, are key to ensure that governments generate interventions to address pollution.
The documentary also captured community and school-led pollution awareness activities in and around Kampala, capital city, where dialogues were conducted among communities living near waste landfills and in schools where lead pollution focused on waste disposal and management were conducted, with community leaders highlighting how they manage waste and student debates with essay competitions on innovations to waste disposal. All in all, lead pollution is a significant public health and environmental concern in Uganda, affecting millions, especially children and pregnant women. To address the impact of lead pollution, there is urgent need to create massive sensitization and awareness of the sources of lead poisoning, especially people in markets, schools, and those around landfills. Policy reviews to regulate importation of lead chemical containing equipment and products, enforcement of policies that regulate pollutants, increasing financing for screening children and pregnant women for blood lead levels, promote research on the impact of lead on human health to inform advocacy and programming, in addition to strengthening coordination of stakeholders through collaboration.